What is up, everyone? Welcome back. That's not the page I'm going to be on. There we go. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another stream. Nice to see some of you in. We are Game Week 2 loading. Game Week 2 deadline is tomorrow morning. But as I've mentioned a few times to people, unfortunately, I'm not around tomorrow morning. I've got a flight to get on. So I can't do a deadline stream tomorrow. So this is the best that I could do for you all. Say hello in the chat if you are in and watching already. I will say hello to everyone as we usually do as at the start of the stream. We'll get around as many of you as possible. If some of you could just give me a little thumbs up in the chat to make sure that everything looks okay, sounds okay, that would be fantastic. We seem to have a smooth start to the stream, which is not always the case. Often forget to unmute this or that, but apart from having the wrong screen up when I load it in. But yes, few of you in the chat, yes, I've got a fresh pair of glasses. Also been for a nice holiday haircut today. Looking my best. But yeah, let's say hello to some of you who we got in. Alex, RA, SSS, River, Chris, Jason, Maestro, Referee, Gugu, Maestro, Ross, how are we doing, fella? If any of you guys have not subscribed to FPL, Raptor, Ross in the chat as well, make sure you go and check out his channel. He will be doing a live stream tomorrow morning, I'm sure. So instead of me, you can go and tune in and watch him instead. Malco, Colm, Peter, Jandre, Danish, AC, Luke, Stain. Nice to see so many members in the chat as well. We'll get onto the members in a minute, but of course members get priority answers to all of their questions as well. Nice to see so many of you in. Yeah, let's get into a few questions. So this is how my team scored last week. I got 72 points, which was absolutely fine. Should have started Sanchez over Ward, but apart from that, like nothing, in theory I should have started Pereira over Trent, but that was never going to happen, was it? So pretty happy with how the game week went. 72 is an absolutely fine start to the season. I wouldn't worry too much about game week 1. As I tweeted before the start of the season, game week 1 is the most difficult game week of the year because we have the most 50-50 calls to make. We have the least amount of information to help us make those as well. So don't beat yourself up if you had a bad week. If you had a good week, then great. But it is the most difficult start to the most difficult game week of the season for sure. So don't worry too much if it didn't go your way. But this is how I lined up last week's captain on Salah, Martinelli, Saka, both doing well. Trippier, Cancelo, no double City defense, but I'm still pretty happy with how my team is lining up. As my team selection video hinted at, I've made no transfers going into game week 2. But I've actually changed my captain this afternoon. It is on Haaland. I'm not set on him yet. But I think if I don't have something to really push me towards Salah, I feel like it's the safer way to go for the start of the season. Before we get into questions, as always, could you guys just smash a like on the stream? That would be absolutely fantastic. If we can get this up to 75 or even 100 likes just to start the stream off, that would be great. True Fandela, how are we doing? Would I sell Mount for Bowen this game week? I probably wouldn't. My general opinion on transfers this week is only to make them if you really have to. If you have the ability to roll a transfer, then I would. For me, there are not many transfers at the moment which fall into the essential transfer category. Kane to Haaland probably does, especially if it's a free transfer. Unless you've got maybe an injury or a player that you are certain that you need to get rid of, then get rid of them. But something like Mount sideways to Bowen is not something I would do this week. Of course, Bowen does have an easier fixture this week, but I probably wouldn't go and move that sideways this week. I'd potentially wait until next game week to be making that move. Rory has asked, and I'm sure there are a lot of you in the chat with a similar dilemma, starting Bailey or Neto this week. From Stephen Gerrard's press conference quotes today, I would be surprised if Bailey doesn't start tomorrow. Of course, I expect Neto to start as well. But a lot of you were potentially worried about whether Bailey was going to start or not, and I think they both will. So I would personally still favour starting Neto. I think it's a pretty close call now, given the quotes that we got from Stephen Gerrard today about Bailey predominantly starting today. So I would still favour Neto just about, but I wouldn't put you off necessarily starting Bailey because that Everton team didn't look great. But it is a back five is the only thing for Everton, and a back four for Fulham. Everton are known they're going to have to defend well when they don't have a lot of strikers on the pitch. So for me, I would still be going with Neto. I think Fulham looked good, but they were definitely, I feel like, weaker defensively maybe than maybe what we saw from Everton. So I'm going to be going on. I'd start Pedro Neto out of the two. Never back the early kickoff as well. That's true. Early kickoff never goes well unless I think it's Spurs always do really well if they have the early kickoff. But apart from that, yeah, I wouldn't go and change it. I've also had a lot of comments on my videos saying that my audio is really quiet. So I've upped it on the videos and I got responses saying that it was much better on my previous video. Is it much better in the stream as well? Or do I need to turn it up or turn it down? Is it echoey? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. Quarry, nice to see you in. FPL Inkling, how are we doing? Yeah, nice to see you all in. Predict Chelsea Spurs. I find this really difficult. I'd probably go 2-1 Spurs. I'm a bit worried. About this game for Chelsea. So I'd probably favour Spurs a little bit. A few of you in the chat saying, why is there a deadline stream? There's no games until tomorrow. So yeah, I'm going on holiday tomorrow morning. Flight at about 8 o'clock in the morning. I got to get up at 5 o'clock. But yeah. So I can't stream tomorrow morning is basically why I am streaming this evening. Struggled to hear a problem previously though. Yeah. Well, I fixed it. I've turned up all the audio for you and everything. Videos, streams, the lot. So should we bench either of Spurs or Chelsea players, says Quarry. Again, I probably wouldn't. If you've got Perisic, I'm not sure Perisic is going to start. He would potentially fall into that I need to sell him category unless you have someone on your bench you're happy to bring in. The Spurs fixtures after this week, if we get up the Fantasy Football Scout fixture ticker, if we have a look over the next 5 games from a defensive point of view. If anyone wants to sign up to Fantasy Football Scout, there is a link in the description which you can do so with. Tottenham do really well after this week. So if we actually move on a week this way, they start to really... Where are they? Okay, they have Man City there. But over the this run... How do I... There's no way they sit there for defensive fixtures. What am I doing wrong? Difficulty. Cool. Yeah. They sit right at the top for some of the best defensive fixtures. So if you've got the likes of Perisic in your team, then I would probably keep him unless you really need that spot. If you've got players in your starting and your bench that you're happy to start over him, I would. If you've got a problem that you're having to start him this week, then I potentially look to move him on. A few comments in the chat already about Kyle Walker. It looks like Man City are signing another fullback. It's been given the here we go as well. That does worry me a little bit for Kyle Walker. Now, I think he should be good for this week and next week. But for anyone who's unsure, the game week... game week 4, 5 and 6, they fall in the space of a week. So we have a midweek fixture in game week 5, which makes me think that I don't think Walker's going to start all 3 of these. Now, that could be fine if you've got cover, but it is a great set of 3 fixtures. And, I think Walker missing out at Forest at home is very possible in that fixture. So I don't mind him. I've gone off buying him a little bit. If you want to buy him, you have to buy him this week, I think, because he's got a good fixture this week. Their fixtures ongoing are nice as well. But you do worry with their new fullback coming in about how many minutes they are going to get. So there's a little bit of a doubt in my mind about whether I'd still be buying Kyle Walker. Again, going forward, he's not that great. You are going to get 6 points from him a lot of weeks. But I'm not necessarily sure I would go and buy him. You brought in Haaland, Quarry. I would be going and get him. And actually, I'm captaining Haaland now. I have moved it. There's a chance I move back. Those of you wanting to know what my team looks like, I will be posting it on Twitter as well if I make a change back to Salah. But for now, my captain is on Haaland. It's not locked in. I will lock it in tomorrow morning on Twitter. I'll post a team on Twitter before my flight takes off. And then I think I land about 15 minutes before the deadline. And I will post again if I decided to change it. but I imagine what I've done tomorrow morning is what I will end up with. I would start Pereira over Perisic. Yeah, I would bench Perisic if I had the chance to this weekend. I just don't think he's going to start. Macaldo, thank you. Welcome to the members in the chat. Looking sharp in those glasses. Appreciate it. How big a chance would I start Pereira? Yeah, I'd start Pereira with Perisic. I reckon I've got Perisic at about a 30% chance of playing. I'm going to Mallorca tomorrow morning. We are 274 of you watching and only 73 likes. Very easy to get this up to 100 likes, completely free, and it helps support the channel. Again, the support you guys have given during pre-season and during the first week of the season has been crazy as well. So thank you all so much for the support. But if we could get up to 100 likes, that would be epic. Should I keep Gross or buy? What's my opinion? If you've got Gross this week, I would definitely keep him. Home to Newcastle is definitely a fine fixture for him. He looked really good in game week 1 as well. I wouldn't go selling Gross, although he doesn't necessarily look, doesn't often return over a long period of time. But if you've got him, I wouldn't sell him. Would I necessarily go and buy him? Probably wouldn't buy him right now, but it's not bad if you've got him at all. Walk in for Trippier for a -4? Absolutely not. So a general rule of thumb that I have is a -4 for a defender is completely off the cards. Not something I like to do at all. And the reason for it is because the chances of, yes, the likes of Trent and Robbo potentially is slightly more viable, but majority of defenders, you're buying them because you're buying them because they keep clean sheets, and if you're taking a -4, the player that you sell gets 2, the player that you're buying gets 6. It's kind of not really worth it. So yeah, I wouldn't take a -4 for any defenders really. If it was Cancelo, then maybe I'd think differently, but Trippier to Kyle Walker for a -4 is absolutely no go. Am I set on Haaland captain? So I put this poll out earlier, and again, if someone wants to explain to me what this Nick Pope trend on Twitter is at the moment, then please be my guest. But I don't quite know what's going on, but everyone commenting Nick Pope everywhere, I don't quite know. But basically, I put this poll out to kind of suss out exactly how big the swing is likely to be. And the swing from Salah to Haaland is massive. We've got about 1 in 4 people captaining Salah and 2 in 3, 2/3 captaining Haaland, which is a massive swing. So Rodrigo or Martinelli? You've got to start Martinelli this week. I expect them to do well against Leicester. Leicester have looked okay, not that great defensively. So yeah, you've got to be starting Martinelli if you've got him. Rashford a hold. Again, yeah, he's not in an essential sell, especially if they give him that they play Brentford this week. I would be keeping Rashford this week. Would I start Dewsbury Hall or Neto this week? I'd start Pedro Neto. Again, Dewsbury Hall scored a great screamer last time out from outside the box, but he's not going to do that every week. So do I think Odegaard is a good pick? Again, I wouldn't pick him over Martinelli. For me, Martinelli at $500,000 cheaper is a much better pick than Odegaard. I don't love Odegaard for me. I've looked at and owned him in previous seasons, like I did a lot last year for anyone who followed my content. He's a very frustrating own. They can score 4 or 5 goals and he can be man of the match and get absolutely nothing, which is so infuriating. He rarely hauls as well, which is just not what I want from a player. So I'm not a big Odegaard fan in FPL. I think he's a great player, but he's not an FPL pick for me. Jesus captain, again, not for me. Arsenal look good, but we saw in game week 1 the ability for that team to share the points around a lot. But yeah, so I love Jesus as an option, and I don't quite know why he's being quite so heavily sold. I mean, the amount of... I don't know how I find it. I've got to go. Let me just move off this a sec. Just while I load something up, a quick reminder for anyone in here that we do have memberships in the channel. We have 2 tiers. Tier 1, which is a great YouTube and a great way to support the channel, and then Tier 2 is where you get tips, which talking throughout the week, everyone's helping each other in that chat as well. So that's that Tier 2, priority comments for every member, channel emojis, but also that members group chat as well, where I'm in there every day answering questions, not just on the live stream, but I've got the tab open now, so we can flick back after that little plug. So, what are we going to look at? I don't even remember now. Glasses look great. I appreciate all the kind words. We wanted to have a look at the transfers out that we've got for the likes of Jesus. Let's go stats, most transferred out, shall we? Stats, total points, transfers out round. So, a third of 1 million people have decided to sell Jesus this week, which seems crazy. Almost 1 million, and that will probably be 1 million by the deadline, have decided to transfer out Harry Kane and then transfer in. 1 million people have bought in Erling Haaland this game week. Again, that's why I put my captaincy there. I think it'll be so highly captained this week. Is why I've moved it. Someone asking if they should do Kane to Haaland from -4 this week. They like Kane from next week. I probably would. Now, also on Fantasy Football Scout, if you guys want to sign up, there is a link in the description which will give you 15% off as well. We have predicted points over the foreseeable. If we look at predicted points for Game Week 2, again, this still shows Game Week 1, but Haaland here, let's go sort by price so it's easier. Game Week 2, Haaland is predicted to score 3 points more than Harry Kane, and this tends to be a pretty conservative estimate between the two of them. It doesn't necessarily put players to be explosive as they could potentially be. It does tend to be a little bit down-weighted from really the explosive potential that they are capable of doing. So in theory, I think it probably is worth it for a -4 this week, but then you run the risk of following weeks who you're better off, but actually Kane is not actually predicted to outscore Haaland until game week 6. So I would move sideways for him, and I would do it for a -4 as well. It's easier said than done while I'm sat here with Haaland in my team and as captain as well, but I think I still would probably go and move sideways between the two of them. You feel Haaland will not score this week. If you're bold enough to go against him and that doesn't happen, you will be absolutely flying, which is part of the reason I am looking at Salah. I was on Salah for the most of the week and I moved it today based off, I just think he's going to be so highly captained, and I have a real philosophy at the start of the season that just do what everyone, like, don't fall too far behind. Now, you might think, yeah, but Harry, if you go and captain Salah and he does well, then you'll absolutely fly after game week 2, which is possible, but yeah, I just don't think that the risk is there to be taken, especially given the way that I think he performed at the weekend. I'm not 100% either way. But it is true, the green screen on glasses as well. I need to find a way to sort this because it was the same on a video I did the other day. I could just take them off, which is fine. Like, I don't really need them to look at screens, but yeah, I'm going to keep them on for now because when I take them off, that hurts my eyes. So, better to bench Perisic. Yeah, I would bench Perisic if you can. You have 0.7 left in the bank to take a punt on Wolves' new signing, Guedes. I'm not necessarily sure he's going to start this week. It's my only thought, but if you've already brought him in, then absolutely go for it. Would you start Kulusevski or Andreas? Kulu, definitely. Kulu looks so good game week 1. Looks so good. There's no way you want to bench Kulusevski in any game ever unless you know he's not going to start. But even then, I'd probably still back him off the bench. So yeah, I wouldn't go benching Kulusevski. What about Leicester's new keeper? Oh, I read comments that then disappear behind my mic and can't answer them. I'll come to that one. Nice glasses, Harry Potter. I've heard that joke enough times over the past couple of days, but I don't mind it at all. What about Leicester's new goalkeeper signing? Will Ward retain his number 1? Yeah, that new goalkeeper's been signed to be a number 2 or a number 3. Number 2 at best, probably a number 3. I don't see Ward losing his spot. He's been given the number 1 shirt as well, so yeah, I don't see him losing it at all. Again, reminder guys, if you could just hit like on the stream, that would be fantastic. If anyone new around here, if you could hit subscribe as well, that would be amazing. We are trying to get to 27 and trying to get to 27,500 by the deadline. That would be any help you guys can give would be amazing. Cancelo captain. I wouldn't do it. Again, I think Haaland is a great captain. I understand why you'd want to go Cancelo. The clean sheet odds are pretty good for City this week. Although they're probably not as high as you would expect. They're still below 50%. So I wouldn't back it too heavily. I think Haaland's look great. I'm still, again, anyone who's watched my stuff before knows that I'm a very big advocate of captain a premium attacker, and I won't swing my captaincy from about, I reckon I captain a max of 5 players this season outside of the double game weeks. Of course, when double game weeks come around, I might end up putting it on someone completely different, like we did with Dennis last year, for example, or Weghorst, which is not necessarily a good thing to be doing, but I may end up doing it when that comes around. But generally, I'm a pretty safe person when it comes to my captaincy. You already did a -4 of Kane and Haaland out for Rashford and Martinelli. You kept Maddison. Those are transfers I really like. Taking a game week 1 -4 hit is absolutely not what I would want to do, but I understand the transfers that you've made are definitely worth doing. So it is what it is, game week 1. I try and minimise your hits early in the season. Anyone thinking -4s, -8s early on, I would do your best to try and restrict the amount of hits that you're going to be taking, just because a -4, like I know Andy tweeted this the other day, if I lose 4 points, I drop like, I don't know if I can get it up on live FPL. Again, I only have this screen. I will get a better holding screen while I get stuff up, but let me just put that. Thank you, guys. While I am on holiday, I will still be uploading just as regularly, so you don't need to worry about that. Don't need to worry. I will still be, I'll still be uploading 2 or 3 times a week. The content will not change. So let me get this back up. Cool. So where's the what if? Yeah. So like, I don't necessarily know if it's going to work because it doesn't work until game week 2, fine. But I think I drop like 250,000 places for every point that you hit. So if you take a -4, you drop like 1,000,000 places, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. It means if you take a -4, it's very easy to make up a lot of ground, but it also is a bit of a concern that a -4 can throw you this far down. Yeah. Salah captain looks a spicy differential. He does. So again, I put the captaincy poll out earlier. Anyone who wants to go and retweet it. Again, this Nick Pope thing going on. No idea what this is about, but I'm going tomorrow. I am still at home, but it shouldn't look any different. So we've got almost 1,500 votes. Let me put it to you guys in the chat as well. See what you are saying. Captaincy, Salah, Haaland. I've got to do better at... I've got to add another option. Other. So let's see what you guys are saying. Haaland's going to be 11.7 tonight. Yeah, he is. He is. I can get Fantasy Football Fix up as well. I'm not going to go back to that screen. I'm going to bone you, but bear with you. Fix. Fantasy Football Fix. Predicted price change predictor. I've got to log in. So cool. So back to Fix. I'm in the preseason part. Sorry, bear with me. Price change predictor. So we are expecting Haaland to rise in price again tonight. So he should be 11.7 come the deadline. Pascal Gross also predicted to rise. Who else predicted to drop? Price drops to Neil Mopai, Alvarez at Man City, Harvey Barnes at Leicester, and Adama Traore apparently, who are the fastest movers as well. All of this information is on Fantasy Football Fix. Kane is the fastest. He could drop. He'll probably drop tomorrow in price now. That's unlikely to hit it. No one really that interesting. Mitrovic also being highly transferred in. Zinchenko will rise again soon, I imagine. So Saliba is an interesting one as well. I'm not that certain on what's going to happen in that Arsenal defence. But anyway. Keep or sell Mahrez. Again, you can't sell a Man City midfielder before they play Bournemouth at home. As much as you might not expect him to start, you have to keep him. Best 4.5 defender to bring in now. Sessegnon a good pick. Again, I wouldn't be buying any Spurs defenders because the rotation is too much for me with them. So I would, if I had to bring in a 4.5 now, I don't know if we can. Who's coming out on top? There's not a goalkeeper. Let me go predicted defenders. Who's the highest? 4.5. Saliba of Arsenal comes out as the highest predicted point scorer out of the 4.5s. 8 Nori is also up there. The Wolves fixtures are really nice. So, yeah, Wolves have got Fulham at home this week. So, where are Wolves? How do I add back in the... I don't even know. So, yeah, they got Fulham at home this week, and then where else are they? They've got Spurs away, Newcastle home, Bournemouth, Southampton. They're really nice. And then the other ones, of course, Arsenal coming up at the top is a much better long-term hold. You do have a slight bigger risk. So, you have a slight bigger risk of Saliba losing his place, I imagine. When Tomiyasu comes fit, there's a chance that it's Ben White, Tomiyasu. But Saliba looks so good in Game Week 1, I don't think that's going to be the case. Trippier to Walker for a -4, absolutely, I wouldn't do that. No. Definitely not. Leicester bought a new goalkeeper, yeah, but I don't think Ward will lose his place. I think that goalkeeper's been brought in to be a number 2 at best, maybe even a number 3. Don't take a -4 if you don't have to. Absolutely. Harry said in the early game, which -4 can cause you to go down. I think it will drop even more than 200 places. Let me end this poll. Just make sure you get your final votes in on captaincy, and then we will end this one. We are seeing about 65% of you, similar to the Twitter one. There's less people going on other, so Salah's slightly higher. But about 60, 2/3 of you going captain Haaland, 30% on captain Salah, and then a few dregs going on other as well. I'll be interested to know in the chat if there's anyone going on other captain that isn't Salah or Haaland, who it's going to be. There's about, not very many of you, but a few of you in the chat going to be doing that. Mount for Foden. That's difficult. I don't think I'd... that's really difficult. I would say I wasn't going to do it, but Mount this week is it's not a good fixture. Foden is great because he plays Bournemouth at home. I'm not that certain. I'm not sure if we got any news on City lineup, because if he's going to start, then I would do it. But if we've got any doubt in your mind that potentially Mahrez comes back in and it's Grealish, Foden, or Grealish, Mahrez, for example, then I wouldn't do it. I probably would for free. It's -4 from Son to Salah, worth it. If you decided not to start with Salah, then -4 it, fine, because it'll benefit you long term. Starting the season without Salah. Sorry, my doorbell has just rung. Don't know who on earth that is. Give me 1 second. Someone at my door, probably the Amazon man. Just getting my stuff that I need before holiday, leaving stuff to the last minute. Fantastic. How are we doing, Luke? Nice to see you. Pope for captain. Again, what is this Nick Pope thing that's going on? I'm completely lost. I know Burger King or someone tweeted it, but why? You're at 5 million rank. You don't have too much to lose, so a hit on those transfers. 5 million rank after Game Week 1 means absolutely nothing. Game Week 1 rank is not the one for me. The chair looked like it's split in half. So I have like a green screen that straps to the back of my chair, and it has a bit of Velcro that comes down to secure it, which is obviously green as well, which is why you're missing half the chair. Shall I still transfer out both Perisic and Kane for some cheaper defender and Haaland? Thing is, I probably would do that. It's for a -4. I don't love it, but I'm not a big fan of Perisic at the moment because I don't know when he's going to get back in that Spurs team. So Neto or Bailey, I'd start Neto. It's something that I think a lot of people will try and be deciding on this week. So I would go with Pedro Neto out of the two this week. De Bruyne captain. If you don't have Haaland, then absolutely fine. If it's De Bruyne versus Salah, I'd probably put De Bruyne below Salah personally. But yeah, what's happened to Kyle Walker? Do we take him off? If yes, I would. No, keep Walker. I'm put off a little bit about buying him because of their new fullback signing that they have made. But I definitely wouldn't go selling him. I would be keeping him for sure because I think they'll keep a clean sheet this week and I think he'll start. And I think he'll start. Paul, how are we doing? Onana, who came in for Everton as a cheap buy. I think but I don't know. Again, I want to see. I'm not planning on buying any Everton assets. What's really interesting is, again, if we look at FPL.team, for anyone who doesn't know what this website does, it basically allows you to plan transfers and see what your team will look like in future weeks, which I think is so useful. John, how are we doing from the pool in sunny Florida? Very nice indeed. Again, little reminder, if you could go and just drop a like on the stream, that would be fantastic. Almost 500 of you in here spending your Friday evenings with me. We have got about an hour still to go, but I don't have anything I need to rush off anymore because there are train delays, so I will be streaming for as long as you need me. Do I think temperature could impact players this week? So I tweeted it as a joke, and a lot of people didn't take it as a joke. They were like, Harry, you're just trying to put people off Haaland for the sake of it. But I don't think it will impact them that much because it will impact both teams negatively. So I think it is pretty even. There's going to be drinks breaks as well, so it is what it is. It might disrupt the flow a little bit, which has put me off Haaland very slightly, but I think Haaland's capable of scoring very freely and very easily as well. So I don't think it should necessarily be something to think about. So this is my team for this week, but what you can do is you go next and you get the team looks like for next week. So actually at the moment I'm planning on doing this, and I'll then have 2 free transfers as well. And Sanchez, again, I'll probably play Ward next week. I'll probably play Ward Southampton at home versus Sanchez away. This is a website called FPL.team, and it is fantastic. Again, they have a Twitter account as well. If you need the link, you can go and check them out there. But if not, I'm going to Mallorca for anyone asking. But this is how my team is lining up next week. And I think a lot of us will end up starting Pereira, for example. But I've got 2 free transfers with this team, and I've got absolutely no idea what I'm going to do with them. I may end up selling. If Neto blanks again, I'll probably end up selling Neto and still benching him. Like, I could go Neto to, like, Aronson, for example, because Leeds have nice fixtures after game week 3, like Brighton, Everton, Brentford, Forest. I could go and get Aronson, for example, in for Pedro Neto. But I may end up benching whoever I bring them in for. I don't know who else I could go and get. Damsgaard, if he's going to play for Brentford, could be a really nice option, but he sounds like he's not going to be fully fit this week, and it's a bit of a rush to get him back next week. You was going to say that looked different to FPL website. Yeah, so this is FPL.team. So the FPL website is great. It doesn't, you don't have to put your details in or anything like that, so don't worry. You just put in your team ID, and then you just basically get your team up. If you make transfers on this, it doesn't do it on the FPL website, so you still have to go there and do it. But it just allows you to sort of plan ahead. So I can see, next week, this is what am I going to do with my team. So my plan is to roll the transfer this week. Then next week, line up like this and potentially do Pedro Neto to... I could do Neto to Aronson. I may end up also selling Trippier next week, but they do have Wolves the week after. Aronson again at 5.5. And then I can bench him next week and I can line up like that. And then the week after, I will bring in Aronson here and I will bring Trippier back into my lineup. And again, I'll have 2 free transfers, so I don't quite know what I'm going to do with it. But the following week, again, game week 5, like Pereira can come back in here, for example, and we can line up with a 3-5-2. So I'm a bit worried about exactly what I'm gonna use all my transfers on over the next couple of game weeks, because I'm a bit like, I hope someone massive. I'm not asking for an injury on anyone, of course, but if someone big got injured and spiced things up a little bit, because right now I have no idea where I'm going to use my transfers over the next couple of weeks. What are you all saying? What would you do with my team over the next couple? Fornals or Harrison? I'm quite liking Aronson. I know you said Harrison, but Aronson at 5.5 could be quite nice, a bit cheaper. Thoughts on Dunk at 4.5? The Brighton fixtures are good. Again, anyone looking at Sanchez, if we flick back. And the good thing about it, if I flick back, it will remember what I did. So now it takes Aronson out of the lineup. But the Brighton fixtures are really nice. So a lot of you, who was it in the chat? Dunk at 5.5, 4.5. Sorry, yeah. Their fixtures from, I suppose, game week 4 is pretty nice, and it's the reason I've got Sanchez in here. Next week I can play Ward at home to Southampton, and then from then on out until I play my wild card, I can play Sanchez. Who does Ward play in game week 9? And yeah, like Ward, like the rotation between the two of them is really, really good. You see, you don't think Harrison is far. You do. The issue is I don't have 0.5 mil in the bank. So if I wanted Harrison, I'd have to go and find that. Now I could do Trippier down to 4.5 and upgrade elsewhere. But JP, what did you ask? Should I bring in Jesus for Wilson for a -4? For a -4, probably not. It depends. If you're going to use your transfer next week on something, so next week if you're going to move, if you have a planned transfer next week, so it would be a -4 next week anyway, I would do it for a -4. But if next week you don't have a transfer that you want to do, then I wouldn't do it, and I would just wait and do it. I really need Reece James. Yes, it's possible. It is a bit of a concern. How I free up the money, a lot of it could depend on how Fulham look this week. If Fulham look good again, then it's possible that I try and find a solution where I end up playing Pereira more often. So I could do, for example, Neto out, Trippier to Reece James. So let me zoom out and get it in a bit of an easier view for you. So I could do Trippier to Reece James and then go and bring in, I don't know who played as a 4.5 midfielder, but that would allow me to go and get Reece James in, which I wouldn't be against at all, but I would have to play either Pereira or Patterson every week. So a lot depends over the next couple of weeks on how Fulham in particular look. But if Everton look okay, like if Everton look fine this week, but my worry is, again, there could be, if Coleman comes back and takes his place at right back. But I don't know who here. Like, De Silva came on, looked fine. Reed looked good, but I don't really want double Fulham midfielder. Did Pearson play 90 minutes? I don't know who this man is, but he played 70 minutes. Like, I may end up just going, I don't know, someone in here who played. Can I sort by minutes played? Like Lavia, for example, at Southampton. I'm not going to play him, but if Fulham look good, effectively, I could go and bring them in. I could find a way to do it like that. If you guys have not joined the league code, which is above me, it is a subscriber-only league code, and yeah, it's a subscriber-only league code, and it has prizes for you at the end of the season for anyone who does very well in it. So make sure you have, of course, subscribed before you go and join it. You won't be able to join throughout the whole season. It will get closed at some point, to be decided. If you want to find your team code, if you go on points tab, and then in the URL at the top, at the very end, it will be Fantasy Premier League /entry / a number, and that will be your team ID. So, Valerie is good for 4 million, player or not. He started for Southampton, again in defence, no. I don't really want to buy a Southampton defender, if I'm quite honest. He only played 45 minutes actually, so no, I probably wouldn't go and buy him. That doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence. You have 100 points. I'll put you like first in the world, almost. Well done if you have. Patterson at 4 mil seems to be more nailed. Yeah, I've got Patterson. He's the one that I would pick at the moment. Neco Williams is also a good shout, but I suppose I've got to make that decision on how I go and get Reece James in this team if I want to. Trippier to him, and then Andres Pereira starting every week is okay, but let's see how Fulham perform this week. Who do I start two out of? Trippier, Neto and Bailey. I'd probably bench Trippier now that we know, now that we think Leon Bailey is going to start. I'd probably bench Trippier out of the two. It's pretty close between them, but I think I would go out on... I'd probably bench Trippier. What 2 do I start from? Yeah, how confident either Robbo over some 5 million defender? I can't be put off Liverpool just after one performance. I'm not being put off Liverpool defence after one performance only. They looked really good, so I'm not worried at all about that. I'm still very happy with Robertson. He's still likely to score in and around 200 points this season, so yeah, not worried at all. So, you got $1 million in the bank. Should I spend it on upgrading Bailey or Trippier come week 3? Again, let's see how they do this week, but I'd probably upgrade Bailey, to be honest. But there's no 5... Well, Aaronson is the one that I'm looking at, but it's going to be Aaronson versus Reece James for me. And I got to pick between one of them, and I think Reece James become the much better option given the Chelsea fixtures that, if we look at the fixture ticker from next week in terms of defence difficulty. Defense difficulty, we've got, again, Leeds. If we take that out and we reduce the number down and sort by difficulty again, the way up. Chelsea again jump right to the top, so Reece James will be up there for higher scoring defenders over that period. So I do feel like I need a way to go and get him back in. Let's get my team for next week up for you all. Can I send my team to you? Yes. If you want to send my team to me, you can send it on Twitter. You can send it on Discord. And I will do my best to reply to you. Of course, you can send it on in the members chat if you are a member as well, which has a 100% chance of getting it replied to. But, of course, not everyone wants to join as a channel member. Perisic on the card soon. Again, Sessegnon looks so good in game week 1 that I just don't think he's going to be dropped completely from the team, which is enough to put me off going and buying any of those Spurs defenders. So I wouldn't go buying them anymore. Are you considering no changes this week? The only thing that could possibly change in my lineup is changing my captain. Which side is it? This side? No, this side needs to... Yeah, the only thing I'm considering changing this week is my captain. It's on Haaland or Salah for me. At the moment, I'm pretty certain that it's now going to end up on Haaland, given the sort of captaincy stats. We are just 20 subscribers away from the goal for today's stream. If you have not already subscribed, then please do in the chat. That would help me out a lot. Got to be Nick Pope. Again, I just don't understand what's going on. It's all over Twitter. Nick Pope. Is he trending? Yeah, Nick Pope. Trending twice. The number one trending thing on Twitter at the moment. Yeah, but like this is just I'm not backing against that. I don't have it in me. Game week 2 to do that. So yeah, I'll be on Erling Haaland unless something really convinces me to go the other way. Like someone really reliable tweets in the morning, Erling Haaland benched, but he's not. So thank you all. We've hit 200 likes as well. Thank you very much. Don't be swayed by ownership. No. But early on in the season, it's important not to fall behind and going in a 50-50 decision ahead against the grain just for the sake of it. But you've been watching me for time, but you've only just realised that you haven't subscribed. Matthew, welcome now. Appreciate it. So Nick Pope, good, but not for captain. Honestly, I don't understand this. Neto out, De Silva in, Trippier out, Reece James in, Reece job done. Yeah, it's what I am looking at. It would allow me to do it. Of course, I'm not going to do it this week while Tottenham play Chelsea this week. So, but yeah, that's definitely on the cards as potential transfers for me. Definitely. Would I start Johnny or Dunk for the next 4 weeks? If I had to pick between one of them, let's have a look at the fixtures. We've got Wolves. We need to... Don't know how to add back in. So Wolves have got... And then Brighton. It's pretty close. 2 home games. Let's see what the... Based off difficulty. Defence. Brighton come out on top just... It's basically, if you can bench 8 Nori next week, then I would go 8 Nori. But if you can't, then I'd go Dunk. Patterson is sub, yeah. The Nick Pope trend is hilarious. I've got to go and put my dinner in the oven. Again, give me 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a minute. Get those questions in. I'm back. Oven didn't want to turn on. Hey, I'm back. I'm back. I won't be back on your screen yet though. You just got a half invisible chair. So, you need to go eat. Enjoy. What's for dinner? Having a roast chicken. I was hot for it, but this like little Mediterranean take on a roast chicken. I know. So, let's go for a few quick fire questions as well. Drop all your questions in the chat now and we will go through for a few quick fire ones. It is warm, isn't it? Coutinho, for me, I'm not sold on it. I wouldn't sell him this week. They have a good fixture, but I would be looking to transfer him out next week. Ready meal, if only. Bailey, a long time. I don't think is good. Yeah, like game week 2, I'd fine. I think he's going to start, but Almiron place again. Almiron or Neto, I would just keep this week. I wouldn't necessarily go to sell this week. Should I take Perisic out for free? Yes, I would. Looks like the volume is just a little bit too high on the audio. It's getting right up there. Rashford keep. I would keep this week because they have a good fixture against Brentford. Would I captain between Salah and Haaland? I'm on Haaland at the moment. Not planning on moving off, to be honest. Hold Harry Kane. I would move to Haaland if you can. Neto or Bowen, but he's about 3 million more expensive, so there's a little bit what else is going on in your squad with that one. But I would go Bowen. Emerson or Andreas to start, as in Emerson Royale at Spurs. I would go Andreas this week. Everton didn't play bad. It's true, but the home teams did really well in game week 1. So if you have a look at the results, I like it. This game, of course, but you expected Arsenal to win that. Fulham winning, Bournemouth winning, Leeds winning, Newcastle winning, Spurs winning, then Chelsea, yeah, but you expected that. I suppose this is the only couple of games where it didn't happen. But a lot of the games on Saturday in particular, the home teams did well. Do I confirm my lineup to the public before every game week? It should be on Twitter, but I do definitely confirm it to all my members as well before the game week. It should be on Twitter, I think 90% of the time, unless something happens very, very late. But it's not going to happen this week. What do I think about Ward-Prowse for a Mount replacement? No, Ward-Prowse is not an FPL asset. Like, he scores occasionally and he'll do well, but not explosive enough. The sound is too low again. I moved it down a little bit. Oh, let's just put it back up. Fine. Have I changed my curtains or in a new room? My curtains are still there. They will never go, but it's, but yeah, I've got a green screen now. Start Reece James or Andreas. I'd start Reece James out of the two. Jesus or Nunez. Going forward, I'm still Jesus, because I'm not sure about Nunez minutes when Jota comes back. I don't know if we got a Jota update, did we, today? I don't remember seeing one. If anyone in the chat saw a Diego Jota update, then give me a shout. I got my frames from Specsavers, classic. Cash to Walker. I wouldn't replace Cash. I'd keep this week. Trippier, I'd keep this week. Those are not essential transfers for me this week. Essential transfers only is what we should have called this stream. Thoughts on Cash? Fine for this week. Bench Tony or Bailey? Probably Bailey. Who do Brentford have? Man United. Yeah, I'd probably play Tony. Haaland or Salah cap, so I'm on Haaland. Let me see. Who's upgrade with 1 million in the bank? Bailey Neto. I'd keep to see what happens next week. Wait to see what happens next week with them before selling either of them, because if one scores this week and the other one doesn't, then I think that makes your decision for you on the pair of them. But for now, yeah. Nick Pope saving a penalty, yeah, for sure, guaranteed. Perisic out for who? Same price, 5.5. I probably would go Perisic to Kyle Walker this week. Fancy's going to do what it does with Harry Kane. Harry Kane goal incoming. Klopp said Jota will be out for a few more weeks. Okay, fine. So he's likely to probably be back game week 6 or 7 then, because those weeks fall pretty close together. But it's back to where the settings were, the mic. So I'll face more over here, which is where my mic is. Salah captain. Nunes should always start. He's looked really good, to be fair, but like those minutes, 6 weeks for Jota. Wow. Okay. Well, then maybe Nunes is a good pick. I still like Jesus. I still think at $1 million cheaper, I like him. But -4, Son, Pereira, and Archer, Haaland. Yes, because Pereira is also a much better option than Archer. How many points do I have? I got 72 points last week. 72, which is absolutely fine. It's, not amazing, but it's good enough for game week 1. Pretty happy with it. Trent captain. For me, I'm very much on the hype train of I will always captain a sort of premium midfielder or a premium forward, so I'm not going to be captaining anyone that, like Trent. I very rarely captain a defender. Too much out of their control to go and put the captaincy armband on them. If you are enjoying the stream as well, we are still about 15 subscribers away from our target for the end of the stream. We won't, of course, end the stream as soon as it goes, but it would be massively appreciated. We are getting closer, and if you guys could like the stream as well, if you haven't. Aren't I scared of Pep Roulette? You mean captaining a City player is always a risk? I'd be very surprised if Haaland doesn't play. I'd be very, very surprised. It's not happening. Haaland's going to start, right? He got 75 minutes against West Ham. We're going to see that happen quite a lot, I think. And once the game is won, once they put the game to bed, he'll get his reduced minutes there. But I think he'll start most games. Should I play Perisic or not? I don't know who's on your bench. I would potentially, I would bench him if you can. If you've got that option to bench him, I would. Yeah, that's currently what I'm thinking. So, Patterson or Andreas. This week I play Andreas. Yeah. I'd play Pereira this week. How would you get Nunes into a 4-3-3 here? I'd have to sell Saka. And I'd have to sell Saka and Robertson. So I'd have to go, I don't know, Archer up, Saka downgrade, and Robertson upgrade, I imagine, is probably how I'd have to do it. I don't quite know. Get a top 100 finish or Chelsea win the quadruple. I'd rather Chelsea win the league than a top 100 finish. If it's winning FPL, then we have a whole nother debate. And this is something that gets debated on Twitter every single season about, would you rather your team win the Premier League or would you rather you win FPL? Let me know in the chat what you would pick. Would you rather your team, put team or FPL in? Would you rather your team win the Premier League or would you rather win FPL? Put in the chat what you would prefer. Am I going to share my team to public? Please do. Again, I do. But of course, my members get it during the week. So if I make a transfer on Saturday evening because my players are going to go up in price, I might not always put it on Twitter. I normally do, but I don't always. But my members, my tier 2 members will always get that information when they need it. FPL, team, FPL, team, win FPL. Mark, but it would be, they get promoted this year and then they win the league next year. You still on? It kind of depends on which team you support. Yeah, true. As a Liverpool fan, definitely FPL. You that confident that they're going to win the Prem anyway? Vote Liverpool win PL and me second in FPL. You still get a lot from coming second in FPL. What if you support a League 2 team where they win the league every single year and then they win the Premier League? Oh, you're in League 1 this season. Sorry, okay. Well, you basically go up to the Premier League as quick as you can and then win the Prem. Kane to Haaland for a -4. Yeah, I probably would do it. I spoke about this in my Fantasy Football Scout video. Again, if anyone wants to sign up to Fantasy Football Scout members area, I use the predictor points, the fixture ticker every single week. There is a link in the description which you can do it. So, thoughts on Cucurella if he starts versus Spurs? Yeah, but if he starts at left wing back, I'd be more confident if he actually starts at left centre back. Because if I starts there, then I think, okay, every week he's going to start. But if he starts at left wing back, I think, well, Chilwell's going to play games. Chilwell will get minutes. So I'm not necessarily that sold. If he starts at left centre back, then maybe I'm going to think about it. We could see Cucurella at left centre back in order to deal with the Spurs pace. It is possible. As a Real Madrid fan, you'll choose FPL. You know you win major trophies. I love it. Love the confidence. Would I start Neco Williams or Perisic? Oh, probably Neco. Who do they have? They didn't look great game week 1 though. West Ham at home. I'd probably start Neco Williams, to be honest. It's pretty close between the two. I'd probably sell Perisic. Is what I do, but can't believe people still haven't moved Kane to Haaland. You're going to gain another 0.1 tonight, and you'll probably lose another 0.1 tomorrow if you don't make the move. We are 2 subscribers away from our subscriber goal for the game week. Thank you all so much for the support. There must be a couple of you in here. I promise, you have my word, that while I'm on holiday, I will set up the little subscriber widget which announces when we have a new subscriber. I will do it while I'm on holiday. I will set it back up again. We had it last year. Best 5 million midfielder. Right now, Bailey is still probably up there. Long term, I like Dewsbury Hall is not bad. I don't really know who else there is. Let's go and have a look at predicted points for midfielders and let's see who does well on value, and let's find the highest 5 million midfielder that is ranked here. Adams at Leeds. I don't know who that is. Bailey is also there. There's not that much. Moutinho at Wolves, but I think he is ruled out. Rocker at Leeds. Klitsch. I must have missed some. Stuart Armstrong at Southampton, but he doesn't play all the time. There's not much at 5 million, to be honest. You could go Dewsbury Hall. It's probably where I'd look now. Who else is there? If I go transfers, who else at 5 million played last week? All players, midfielders, total points, minutes played, and max price 5 million. Xhaka, Partey, Bailey, Lerma, March, Caicedo. You're better off just going for Pereira at Wolves and just playing him every week, to be honest. That's probably where I would go. Maybe Almiron, but they're looking like they might sign a winger now. So great stream. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you all for the kind words as well. How are we doing? Thank you all. We have hit the subscriber target for the game week. Of course, I will have a video out for you on Sunday. I'll probably have a video out for you on Tuesday. I'll probably have a video out for you on Thursday as well before a deadline stream on Saturday. There's going to be all of it done while I'm on holiday. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. So, really weird question, right? YouTube have added this insert ad thing on streams, which I don't love. It's like Twitch where streamers add adverts. Did you just have to watch an advert, or is it for when the video gets played back to other people? I don't know. But let me know, because I don't... Yeah. Yes, you had to watch it. Oh, that's not what I wanted to. That's not what I wanted to do. But anyway. Oh, it played back. You've just seen an ad. Oh, okay. Looks like you do have to watch it, which is not exactly what I want. Anyway, I will not be using that button. Have a nice weekend. Thank you. Just an ad, not ideal. Nope, no ad. 5 seconds and skip. Okay, so they're skippable ones, but I will not be doing that. You didn't see anything. Fine. FPL questions. Neto to Damsgaard, game week 3. So we haven't actually spoken about Damsgaard. Anyone unsure? Damsgaard has just signed for Brentford. He's meant to be a pretty good talent. I'm a big fan of his. Again, we heard in the press conference today that he's not necessarily fully fit. So that's a bit of a concern. He might be on the bench this week, but is he necessarily going to come in and start straight away? Maybe not. So I'd keep an eye on him. I wouldn't necessarily go bringing him in straight away, but yeah. I wouldn't go bringing him in straight away, but he's definitely one who's on my watch list. Definitely one who's on my watch list. Sell Diaz or hold. Hold. Like, only go selling these players if they are absolute priority transfers out. And Diaz absolutely does not fall into the priority transfer out category. Injury prone, he was sold cheap. What, Damsgaard? Yeah, he is a little bit. One to keep an eye on. If he gets fit, that Brentford team have some really nice fixtures. You remember Damsgaard from the Euros. He did very well at the Euros. You're off now. No worries. Thank you guys all for watching. If you guys can make sure you've liked and subscribed if any of you are heading off. We still have plenty of time left in the stream, so don't you worry. I'm not going anywhere at all. Soufal or Saliba, you used your wild card. Ooh. Did Soufal start? Is he 4.5? Their fixtures are much better. Soufal played 90. Interesting. Fixtures. Their fixtures are not bad. Spurs, Chelsea in 5 and 6 is not ideal, but if you've got other players that you can potentially bench Soufal for in these weeks, then that's fine. Game week 8 wildcard, I will definitely look at him because I still back West Ham. Got a couple of difficult fixtures in there, but also nice ones surrounding it. So I quite like Soufal. It depends what you've got in game week 5 and 6 when you'd probably have to bench him, is what my first reaction is. I probably would go Saliba out of the two though. Saliba looked really good game week 1. Bailey or Pedent as a differential. If I'm buying one, I'm buying Pedent because Bailey, you've only got about 2 weeks left of him before you need to sell him because those fixtures get very difficult. Sorry, I spent so long looking over here because it's where my stream setup is, but the camera is right here. -4 Perisic to Walker, no. Walker for a -4 is just not going to pay off this week. I'd definitely wait. Would I start Pereira or Bailey? After Gerald's comments, I would be going Leon Bailey. Yeah, I'll be going Leon Bailey out of the two. Don't burn the chicken. That's true. Maybe I should go and check on it. I'm sure it's fine. It needs like 45 minutes in the oven, so maybe even longer. Will I get Fofana for 4.5 if Chelsea sign him? Yes and no. I'm not 100% if he goes straight into that Chelsea lineup where he slots in, so I'd have to wait and see that was the case before I went and bought him. How about Guedes, new Wolves signing at 6 million? Again, I wasn't impressed by that Wolves team in game week 1. I don't love Neto. I'm definitely not going to go spend 6 million on one of their midfielders. So, hi Harry. Hi Eddie. How are we doing? Thank you again for everyone who comments on all my videos as well. As I've said before, I know I get a lot of DMs from you guys on Twitter asking for me to answer your questions. The best way to get me to answer your questions is in the first hour of a YouTube video because I reply, I think, to every single question over the first hour. So get those notifications on and drop your questions in the comment section of every video and I get back to pretty much all of them. If it's rate my team with a whole list of players, then I maybe don't, but every question you ask I will get back to. So if you have questions, that's the number one way to go and get it done. Any news regarding Perisic starting against Chelsea? We have none. I would be surprised if his first Premier League game is a start against Chelsea, to be honest. But it's possible. It's possible, but I'd be surprised if he starts this weekend. Thoughts on Justin? Again, 4.5 million, him and Castagna as the Leicester defenders is definitely not a bad buy. The positioning they were picking up at the weekend is really, really good. I don't know if, again, just while I pull up another screen, a reminder that you can get 2 membership tiers on the channel. What I want, so for score, you can get 2 membership channels. We have tier 1, which just helps support the channel. You get priority replies to all of your comments in the chat. Or you have tier 2 where you get added to the group chat as well. A few of you asking if I'll be streaming tomorrow. Sadly, this game week I won't be. Again, I want to get the Leicester lineup here because I'm going on holiday. But other deadlines, I will be doing proper deadline streams. So where's their 2-2 draw with Brentford? If you have a look at their lineup, how do I see? Normally there's a show average position. How do I see? Where's the show average position on statistics, lineups? Well, I can click on them anyway. Sure, there's normally a button that says show average position. Where do I buy the tiers? There is a link in the description down below, which you can click on. Or if you go to my profile, then there'll be a join button. You can't do it on the app is the only thing. For some reason, YouTube don't have an option on the app to do it yet. You can do it in the description or just on my YouTube page as well. But so Castagna, again, if we look at this average heat map for them, for the pair of them, it's so good. They were so high up the pitch. No go on walk with Man City signing a new left back. Yeah, I think I probably agree with that. I think I'm a little bit put off by Walker enough to not go with him when they've got a new fullback, because when it comes to those 3 games a week that we've got coming up in game week 4, 5, 6, like Walker not playing Forest at home in game week 5, which is the midweek one, just seems so likely now. So I'm going to be staying clear of him, I think, for the time being. Unless City look really good this weekend, I might have to do it. But right now, I think Reece James is probably my number 1 target, because Chelsea's fixtures from next week are good. If we look at Reece James. Again, if Cucurella starts, I might end up going with him. These Chelsea fixtures are crazy now. Tottenham, so after that, Leeds, Leicester, Southampton, West Ham, Fulham. But after that, particularly from game week 9 onwards, is really, really nice. Let's get my team up and we'll get a few more questions in. My seat has shrunk down a little bit, as it does during these streams. So, you'd start Bailey. If you've got him, I would start him. How old am I? I'm 24. Keep or sell Trippier. I'd keep him for this week. It's an okay fixture. Brighton looked pretty good game week 1, but yeah, I'm not expecting loads from Trippier, but I wouldn't go selling him this week. You prefer Castagna or Justin? There's not much between them, especially now Ricardo Pereira. With Ricardo Pereira being injured as well. It's a pretty 50-50 call. Castagna always has that goal threat. He seems to do it, so maybe I favour him slightly. You only just joined. Is this team confirmed? So a few of you asking the same question on is this team confirmed. Team is not locked in. It's not impossible that I move a captaincy from Haaland to Salah, but I think it's about 90% locked in now. Maybe 75. The team is 95% locked in. That captaincy is 75%, if that makes any sense. Harvey, how are we doing? Should I start Bailey or Gabriel? I'd start Bailey probably out of the 2. So, yeah. The devil's advocate to Haaland captain is that they will do well and he'll get subbed early. Yeah, but he's only going to get subbed if their goal's up. And if their goal's up, the chances are Haaland is likely to be involved. I need to stop doing this because it blurs my face out. You think you'll captain Haaland just because you know a majority of the masses will. Well, this is it. I put the poll up earlier, and we've got almost 2,000 respondents on it already. And we have 65% going in on Haaland. We have 23% going in on Salah as well. Everyone in the comments going Nick Pope, as expected. The best 4.5 defender, Saliba probably. Dunk also nice. The Newcastle defence is not bad, although their fixtures on the horizon are probably not worth buying into. So Dunk, Johnny, Soufal or Castagna, as Giandre just mentioned in the chat, are probably the 4 modes that I would be looking at as well. Dunk, Johnny, Soufal and Castagna. Maybe I'll go Castagna. Those Leicester fixtures, let's have a look though. Their Leicester fixtures are not great, is the only thing. He's going to be a great pick from that Game Week 8 wildcard onwards. He'll be very popular for this run, but for now, I probably would stay clear of him just because of the fixtures. The Nick Pope is some joke that I think Burger King started. I don't quite know what it is. Let me... So, the most underrated YouTuber. I appreciate it. If you guys want to get some of your teams rated as well, just go and drop them in as a... Well, actually, everyone's team is the same, so I probably won't do it this week. I might do it next deadline stream. We'll have a look at some of your teams as well. But would I would go Haaland back to Kane in Game Week 3 if you have KDB? No, but I'd maybe do KDB to Son. I'd rather do KDB to Son than Haaland to Harry Kane. Is personally how I look at it. Do I have a job outside of FPL? I do. So this is only a hobby. This is only a pastime. You're not convinced the Ward would I sell it, but you have just 4 million. I imagine you've got a second keeper. There's no need to sell Ward. I would just sit him on your bench every week now. Yeah, I wouldn't go selling Ward. It's a real waste of a transfer early on. When am I planning to play my wildcard? So a lot of you, again, might be looking at the wildcard options when you're planning on playing it. Game week 6 or so... Sorry, game week 8 is about halfway through between now and the World Cup, and it's probably when I predicted to play my wildcard. Should you play Bruno Guimaraes or Andreas? I'd probably play Andreas out of the two. It's close. I'm not a big Bruno Guimaraes fan at 6 million, personally, and you've heard it if you listened to my streams before. So Aronson or Damsgaard, I'd probably go Aronson. Damsgaard, we don't know if he's fully fit, and he has a big injury record. I don't quite know how he fits into that Brentford front three. Like, is it Visa that's gonna drop out? Probably. But Visa's been good for them, so I don't necessarily think it's clear cut as that, especially with the player's got an injury record. So I'm not sold on him yet. I'm not sold on that yet. Perisic and Kane out for Zinchenko and Haaland for a -4. Yeah, I probably would do that. I hate -4s game week 1 to game week 2, but I probably would do it. You will get a big red arrow this week because of it if you take -4s. Well, chances are because of you drop like a million places with a -4. But I should have added Pope to the poll. Yeah, well, I didn't realise it was a thing. And then everyone commented it. Everyone commented it. But yeah, this is how I'm lining up for this week. Armband currently on Erling Haaland. Not sure I'm going to be moving it now. Will I be streaming? I can't read all the comments out. Will I be doing a stream where I go over your teams? Yes, where do I send the teams to you? Not today, but probably in the next deadline stream next week, I probably will have a look at rating some of your teams. But probably not today. The reason is not many people are making transfers, and a lot of it will be, yeah, fine, roll the transfer. And I think that's the case for the majority of us. I might put that in the chat. If you guys have taken on -4 or -8, put -4 or -8. If you've just used free transfer, just put free in the chat. And if you have rolled your transfer, just put roll in the chat. And let's see who has made transfers, -4s, -8s. I don't particularly mind at this point at who the transfer was. Let's just have -4, -8, roll or free in the chat. And let's see where people are tending to sway. Should I switch Diaz for Saka? No, I would roll that transfer. Free roll. A lot of rolls in the chat. Freeze a -4 in there. Freeze wildcard. Fair enough. I don't know what your team was like before it, but wildcard, free, roll. Yeah, I'd probably say people are favouring roll. I know people are. This is what the whole poll part of YouTube is for, but sometimes it's just easier just to get this in quickly. Rolling. Yeah, I think rolling has definitely won that. A few hits here and there, a few free transfers, but a lot of you rolling the transfer this week, which I think is very reasonable. Next week we can have a look again. But yeah. Harry, have I learned nothing? It's Salah under the lights at Anfield against Palace in Game Week 2. He's never scored in Game Week 2, Salah. I don't read anything into that, but he's never scored in Game Week 2, Salah. Wildcard Game Week 8? Yeah, so after Game Week 8, going into Game Week 9, I think is when we plan on playing it. Yeah. Would I consider putting Patterson ahead of Pereira? That's a 50-50 call. It doesn't really make much difference. I expect all of my starting lineup to play, so I'm happy with it as it is. Happy with it as it is. Roll if I don't have Haaland, basically. If you have Haaland, I think you mean. Yeah, if you've got Haaland, I'd pretty much roll. I thought you always captain a player who has a Monday night match. I do, but this is just crazy. This captaincy stat on Haaland is mental. I just don't want to have like the stress of it. The Game Week 2 stress while I'm on holiday. I'm pretty 50-50 on them anyway. So Dunk, Johnny, Soufal or Castagna. I quite like. I'm going to go with Lewis Dunk. If you have to play, if you need them to play this week, then Soufal. If you don't need them to play this week, then Dunk. Probably out of the two. I like Soufal. I do like Soufal, but Dunk at 4.5. That Brighton defence is still solid. It is still solid. All of us Paris Jones have no ideas what to do. I would be selling him. 5 mil or 4.5 mil defender, or if you don't have Reece James, wait and free up money to get Reece James from next week. Is the way I'll be looking at it. Is the way that I would be looking at it this week. Do I think Perisic will start? No, I don't. I think it'll be on the bench again this week. My opinion on 3 Arsenal. Well, I've got it here, right in my team. These big guys in my midfield: Martinelli, Saka, Jesus. Big on those guys for this week. I'm hoping for big things. When do they play? When is the Arsenal game? 3 o'clock. I've got so many players in the 3 o'clock tomorrow, which I don't love. Arsenal, I've got Newcastle, Brighton, I've got 2. I've got double City, I've got Wolves as well. I think I've only got triple Liverpool as the only other people I have outside of that 3 o'clock kickoffs, which is crazy. How badly will going against Haaland captain affect you? Well, it depends how it goes. Basically, if Haaland does really well, then the risk is too great for me right now. It's possible that I have a change of opinion because I have been on Salah for most of the week until this afternoon. But yeah, I think I'm just going to end up on Haaland. If Salah ends up doing really well, though, I'm going to really kick myself because I've been on him for so much of the week. Haaland's preseason miss really got people. Yeah, it's true, but he's looked good since. Evening, how are we doing? I'm very well, thank you. Is Lingard Game Week 3 against Everton a good pick? I'm just not buying Forest players yet. They didn't look great Game Week 1. How come you have triple Arsenal and not triple City? Well, I could move Saka to Foden, for example, but I'm not going to do that this week. Arsenal are really good, and you know who's going to play for them every week, basically. You know who's going to line up for Arsenal every week. You don't know who's going to be in that City lineup. So yeah, would I sell Mount for Saka and have 3 Arsenal attackers or stick? I probably would make the move because those Arsenal fixtures on the horizon, like when the deadline comes, and again I'm staring at triple Arsenal with like Bournemouth away next week, and then the next deadline comes and I'm staring at it with Fulham at home. I'm going to think, great. The week after, Villa at home. Then Game Week 7, like I could hold this, until Game Week 8 when I wildcard. I'm very happy with it. Let's see what happens this week, but I'm still pretty happy with it. Kane, Haaland, Cash, Dunk from -4. You need to play Dunk. Yeah, I would still Cash out. Yeah, I probably would because the transfers are better. Get a mic, mate. Your voice is very low. I have a mic that cost me rather a lot of money. I think it's my settings rather than it actually being the mic's fault. So, yeah. Maybe I need to up this a little bit. Is it a bit quiet? This any better? Mic's not low. I'm going to have blown everyone's heads off now. I'll just turn it up. I don't know. Like the stream, guys. Yes, that would be fantastic. That would be great if you could. Everyone can hear me. I feel like this happens with some people, but yeah. Much, much better now. Oh, your mic is good now. Fine. Well, I've whacked it up a little bit. Apologies for anyone wearing headphones that's suddenly just gone massively up in volume. But again, if you massively appreciate any likes on the stream, anyone who's new who hasn't subscribed as well, it is a subscriber only chat, so if you guys hit the subscribe button you can get your questions answered straight away as well. I don't know why it dropped off, but I did up it. But anyway, Bernardo Silva and Robertson to Diaz and Walker -4. No, sell Bernardo Silva, fine, but don't go selling Robertson. This has been the most helpful stream. Thanks, Harry. No worries at all. Appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words. I just woke up your entire family and you're grounded. Oh, no. Apologise. Please do apologise to all your family for me waking them up. Did I answer the super chat? Yeah, I did. Cool. Thank you for all the super chats as well, and members in the chat as well. Welcome. Let's get some of those members emojis in there as well. Best 3 forwards to have currently. Haaland, Jesus, probably Nunes, but Nunes is quite expensive. So maybe you go for someone like Mitrovic. Maybe you go for someone like maybe you go for someone like Mitrovic. Here's another question. Sorry. I know when I set it up, I feel like my mic and my mouth don't move at the same time. But I can never remember. Is my mic synced to my mouth, or do I need to move it? Is that better or is that worse? Oh, I don't feel like fiddling around with this midstream is a good idea. I feel like this is going to have made it worse. Let's put it back. It's fine. Maybe I need to check it, but the sync is good. Fine. Is Grealish a good option? No, I think he'll lose his place soon enough. Thank you so much. You're such a helpful YouTuber, the best FPL tuber ever. Thank you very much. Appreciate the kind words. Cheers, Harry. You're going to take a break from FPL now. No worries. Enjoy your evening. What time is it? Thoughts on Raya? I think he's fine. That Brentford game week 1 and game week 2 was never when you expected to get points from Raya. It's only going to get easier there. Hi, Harry. I'm a Chelsea fan. Do I keep Mount or move to Saka? I'd move to Saka for free, to be honest. I was never a big Mount fan game week 1, but yeah. Is Reece James worth keeping? Absolutely. Especially from game week 3 onwards, you'll be very happy you decided to keep Reece James. Yeah, I would definitely be keeping him. What midfielder for 7 million or less? There's not really much until you get down to like 5.5. I quite like Aronson at Leeds. He looked good. But I would want to just wait game week 1, game week 2 and get a little bit more information, because a lot happens in 1 week that you think you know and then you don't know after 2 weeks. So I would wait and see what happens next week. So yeah, I'd wait and see what happens with the sort of mid-price, mid-bracket. Do I think Cucurella will get a chance? I think he might start this weekend. I think I predicted him to, but I think he'll play at left back because I think Chilwell was nursing an injury in game week 1. So is it worth going Trippier or Walker? I wouldn't do that this week. No, I'm not doing it. I wouldn't do it if it was you. Again, a few of you asking to get your teams rated. If you want to drop me a message on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, wherever, then I will do my best. If you want to get it guaranteed that I have a chance to look at your team, then join as a tier 2 member with a link at the top of the description, and I will do my best. Do I think Mara starts? Most predicted lineups have him. I think Grealish doesn't play. I think Mahrez plays on the right because Mahrez isn't good when they have to press, and they are not going to have to press against Bournemouth. So I think Mahrez starts on the right, and I think we see Foden out on the left. You have Foden for this game week. Definitely sure he will get a goal involvement against Bournemouth. Yeah, very possible. Should you transfer Kane out for Haaland? Yeah, I would. Also, do I think Bailey will start? Yeah, I do. I'd start Bailey if you have him. If you guys have Leon Bailey, I'd play him. I think he'll start this week. Sancho to Grealish or Gundogan. So I quite like Gundogan. 7.5 million could be a really nice option. My only concern is, in previous seasons when Gundogan has done really well, they've played a little bit differently to how they played this season with Haaland in there. They don't they didn't look as fluid with players getting into different positions maybe as they did when they didn't have Haaland. So that's my only concern, that maybe Gundogan's sort of late runs into the box are not going to happen as much because they've got a recognised centre forward now. So Bailey or Trippier. I'd probably play Bailey, to be honest. If I had the two, I'm not that set on a Newcastle clean sheet this week, if I'm honest. But love from India, welcome. Again, drop in the chat where you are watching from as well. It's lovely to see everyone watching from all over the world. Good luck in Game Week 2 for anyone who is heading off. Of course, the churn of viewers is always there. So anyone who's had enough of my stream, thank you for watching and good luck this week. Saka to Bowen? No. Selling Saka is not an option at all for me. So, Rashford or South Africa? Love it. I was going to go there, but I'm not anymore. So, Lithuania, watching from Iceland. Who should I remove between Bernardo Silva? Well, I'd remove Bernardo Silva before anyone because he's not going to be at Manchester City. So, yeah, I'd get rid of him. India, best Bailey exit strategy with no money in the bank. Your best Bailey exit strategy with no money in the bank is to hold on to him for another week, even another 2 weeks as well. Gerrard was pretty complimentary of him. So I'm not sure why people are selling Saka. I know Bowen has a good feature this week, but I wouldn't make that move. You've got to think about more than one game week. Thoughts on No Salah? It's not the one for me. I just don't. I never understood No Salah. Northern Ireland, Morocco, South Africa, Stoke. Is Callum Wilson a good differential? Yeah, he's fine. Again, if you haven't watched my forwards video, I do a hot topic video every week on the Fantasy Football Scout YouTube channel. So just search in Fantasy Football Scout and it will come up. And this week it was on forwards. I'm fine on him. The fixtures are okay on Wilson, but I'd probably be looking elsewhere. Saka has penalties. Yes and no. We don't actually know if that's the case. It seems to be if Martinelli or Jesus potentially win it, then they'll take it. But elsewhere on the pitch, Saka is going to be the one who takes it. So Saka is penalty taker unless it's like Martinelli who wins it, I think. Dean or Andreas Pereira start. I'd probably play Luca Dean out of the two. Yeah, I'd probably play Dean. Algeria. Wow, all over the world. What's going on Twitter? Anything we need to report for you all? No. So Captain Jesus is a no for me. I'd be Salah or Haaland all the way. What do I think about Mitrovic? As I've said before, Mitrovic is fine. I don't mind. And the next two are okay. If you have that space, I wouldn't go tearing up your team to go and get him. But I think he's a fine buy now. So yeah, that's low down again. So yeah, what I say to a lot of people is you can't just look at 1 week of data. Can't just react after game week 1, because if someone scores in game week 19, you don't just go, oh, I'm going to buy him because he scored last week. No, you'd look at what else is happening. Whereas game week 1, because we don't have anything else, people would think, I'm just going to buy that player because they scored. You need to look at it in a bigger, broader context than that. What to do with Dalot? I would probably keep him for this week and then maybe look at Dunk as a potential replacement. Thoughts on Foden? Yeah, fine. I think we'll start this weekend. I think it'll be Mahrez, Foden. What's the areas I would use one of your chips? I won't use any of my chips until the second half of the season, apart from wildcard. And I can guarantee you that. I will wait until double game weeks, blank game weeks for all of my chips. That is a guarantee. Anyway, I do need to head off. That chicken is going to be ready very, very soon. Get your final questions in the chat now. Again, if you haven't already, please make sure you subscribed. And there will be video coming for you on Sunday evening, then Tuesday, then Thursday, then Saturday morning. So that is my upload schedule for the weeks, pretty much. It is Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday again, round and round. So please make sure you have subscribed to the channel. While you're subscribing, make sure you've liked the video as well. Hit that notification bell, get that little reminder when those videos do go live as well. If you want to support the channel, an early view and an early comment on a video is massive. That first sort of half hour, how that performs, has massive implications on how the rest of the video does perform. So if you want to help me out a little bit, that would be massively appreciated. I will lock in my team on Twitter tomorrow. I will probably post a locked in team before I land with my flight, and if I change things while I'm on the flight, I will post another team once I've landed. But of course, if I land after the deadline because there's a delay or something, then I won't be able to change it, and the team that I go with before I fly will be the team, if that makes sense. So keep an eye on Twitter if you do want to see what I do with my team. Not 100% locked in. Again, I'm taking all my stuff with me on holiday, so that will be going. You don't need to worry. There will still be all of the usual videos. Again, if you think that's good commitment, make sure you've liked, make sure you've subscribed. Good luck in Game Week 2 if I don't see you, and I will be back again very soon. Thanks, guys.